Hey guys, so for today's video, I'm going to be answering the question of how do you find gigs as an independent music artist? This is a question that I get a lot because I have two concert series that I curate, Unplugged and Live and the Explore Community Concert series. And I'm often playing out a lot at different places. I love it, different festivals, private events, public events. I try to stay booked. So let's take some time to get into that today. All right, so my answer to this is not going to be at all what you would think. In addition to running different concert series, I host different workshops, and you want to know what the least attended workshop is? It's my artist branding workshop. Now, what does this have to do with booking gigs? It has everything to do with booking gigs, because when people book you, believe it or not, they're not booking you because of your stellar musicianship, although that is important. They are buying into a brand. And so brands add value. And so if you can build a brand that adds value, then this is how you are going to stay booked and busy. But a lot of times I see artists skip this step. They might come to my songwriting workshop, maybe even my beginner guitar workshop, definitely the music production workshop, even creative recovery, but attendance on artist branding is low, and it's the most important. That is where you are learning not only the business of marketing yourself, but you are learning how to demonstrate value in the marketplace. And that is essentially the question that people ask me when they say, how do I get gigs? Or how are you staying so booked? Now, don't get me wrong, there are drought seasons, but that's also why I host a concert series so that I can book myself when I need to be booked. So today's video, I'm going to be getting into tips about how you stay booked, but it comes from the perspective of making sure your brand is on point. So a lot of my booking tips today are actually going to be those branding tips that the people have skipped out on in the workshops. So I'm not going to go too deep into branding. I do want to talk about booking, but they go hand in hand. And so you can be a great musician. Don't get me wrong. You need that great, as I said, but if it's difficult to book you or it's hard to market you, you're not going to be the go-to person. So my first tip is going to be make it easy for the venue to say yes. So there are a number of things that I did to build my brand when I got started. Time has changed with technology, so it's made it a lot easier. Back in the day, I would literally go and put my business card up at every coffee shop that I could that mentioned that I do live music, and I would get calls to do different things. I also would regularly go out to open mic nights and perform and hand my card to anyone that said they loved my performance. Now, if they didn't say they loved my performance, I wasn't giving them one of my expensive business cards, but anyone that said they enjoyed my performance, I would hand them my business card. And then I would often get emails from people that would invite me out to play at different events, paid or unpaid. When you're starting out, I know you want to get paid, but if you have not established your brand, you're going to do a lot of gigs in the beginning that are not only building your brand, but establishing your stagecraft. Now, you might think, I play good, I don't need to develop nothing. But sometimes what we are enjoying, we need to find a way to make sure that connects with the room. And so we need to make sure we have a powerful product. I had a professor in college, and he would talk about the 3 Ps of success. And 3 Ps are a powerful product, so that goes into your performance. It might be powerful in your mind, but you need to go get some more reps in to make sure it is really connecting with the audience in the way that it should. A proper perspective and a professional attitude. Now, shout out to Mr. John Kellogg, who taught us this at Berkeley. It's true. Those are 3 Ps for success. And a lot of times in our mind, we have those things, but we don't. Remember, powerful product. It needs to connect emotionally. And a proper perspective, which a lot of times, like I said, those artist branding workshops are where you're finding that perspective, as well as a professional attitude. So you want to make sure you are taking time to build a brand that can generate the type of bookings that you would like. I used to, back in the day, go out in a coffee shop, send 50 emails per week. That was my goal, to find gigs. Some paid great, some did not. I needed to get out and make sure that I was seen in the right places, building my performance, my stagecraft, getting my information out there, my business cards at the time. Now it's different, so it's going to probably be your QR code, but you want to make sure you're visible in all the right places. If you're reaching out to established venues and expecting them to give you a chance to play just because you are great at playing, that's not enough. You need to have built a brand and an audience that wants to hear you play, because it is a partnership with different venues. Another way to stay visible in all the right places, in addition to staying out and playing throughout the community is to make sure you're posting your artist wins online. Make sure you're posting things like I have here, behind the scene footage of what it's like, my process, my creative process, what it's like to see me live. A lot of times venues just cannot book you because they don't know how to market you. You don't have high res photos, you don't have any performance footage, and you have no idea of how many people will actually come out to see you. And that puts them in a place where it's harder to book you. So make sure you're staying up to date and relevant online. And it's honestly not about the number of likes or follows, despite I don't care what they say. It's about your reputation. That leads me to my next tip, which is to focus on your reputation, not likes. Those things don't matter. Are you reliable? Do you show up on time? Do you add value? These are the things that people come to you and trust you and book you for. When I teach my branding class, I flash up a lot of different brands that we know and talk about how that brand, sometimes people just grab because they trust it, because they know what they're getting when they get it. And so you want to make sure your reputation is consistent. Not only that you're reliable and you show up on time, but that you deliver a great performance. And so that's going to be my final tip, is to make sure you have developed a great performance. Not one that garners pity claps, but a great performance that people are really feeling a connection to, because people are going to book you on the strength of that as well. And so these are just quick tips and pointers. I would recommend that you download my free indie artist checklist. Those are things that start to establish and build your brand. But to answer the question of how you get gigs, you build the brand that demonstrates value. When I could not find gigs, what I would do is build them myself. You know the saying, build it and they will come. Well, there's no guarantee that they will come, but you can absolutely begin to build out the shows that you want. And sometimes that's what you're going to have to do in an oversaturated market. As I often say, people want to hop on a moving train. So make sure that your train is moving, even if that means you have to set up your own gigs. Something that I used to do earlier on is I would go into certain places and pitch me performing there. And I'd challenge them, try me out on Friday night, no cost. And if it's great, I want you to book me every month on this day, you know, first Friday or whatever it might be. I think it was Thursdays back then. And challenge yourself, challenge them. You have to demonstrate value and know, much like buying a business, you got to have some skin in the game. So when people reach out to me and they want gigs, but they have no audience and they have no brand, no professional photos or videos or anything that's going to help me help them, all right, y'all, that's it. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so I know to bring you more content like this. Also, I found a lot of rehearsal footage that I'm going to be uploading over the next few weeks. So make sure you stick around Mondays at 2 p.m. I'm going to be sharing all the behind the scenes footage that I have for my full band rehearsals. All right, until next time.